Welcome back to another episode of Inspiring Generations. I miss you guys, my audience out there. If you're watching right now, go get something to eat, go get something to drink, because this is going to be a really good episode today. I want to start by saying my heart goes out to all the people who are traumatized, by all the events that are happening in the world today, especially for our youth. Because every generation, they go through some type of generational trauma that they have to work through and come out strong on the other end. And I'm praying every day that our youth of today are able to stand up and make sure they keep fighting for their rights. But on that note, I'm a little emotional today about certain subjects that I might be talking about. And there's some subjects that I just found out about, so I'm with you. We're going to learn together. We're going to talk about some history. We're going to talk about update with Mr. Brandon Koch, who is in the studio today. He was on Chelsea Day. A lot of you will remember him once you see him on this episode, or if you want to see him, watch our past episode from last year. Thanks to Miss Paula, she had him come on Chelsea Day, and it was really, really exciting to have Brandon come to our community and sing for the people of Chelsea. He gives back. He's a good youth, and I'm so happy to find out right now, today, what Brandon's been up to. So welcome, Brandon Koch, back to Inspiring Generations.
Ooh! Yeah. Hi, how are you guys? Oh, you guys can't talk back to me. Well, I'm Brandon. I'm back. It's been nice.
Yeah.
It's good to be back with you, Celeste.
Thank you. So what you've been doing since Chelsea Day?
Since Chelsea Day, I've been working on some music. I have some singles I released called, because last time we were talking, it was Mama and Real Ones. I have a song named Marry Me. It talks about, as before in the last interview, I talked about marriage, how you should be able to write from different perspectives.
Yes.
I also wrote a song about On the Road, being played, because I feel like a lot of people can go through like hardships and things in relationships. Then I have a new recent song named For Me, because I feel like it's okay to like take a break from reality and just focus on yourself.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's a good metaphor for a lot of youth today, to take themselves away for a little while and just from all the chaos and all the stuff that's going on, and just take yourself away for a little while and have a meditation on positive things and things that you will want to reflect for your legacy later on in life.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. And how did you enjoy Chelsea Day?
Chelsea Day was an amazing opportunity because I felt like I'm so used to performing in front of church. So it's like, it's definitely a different vibe and different crowd.
Yeah.
So it was nice to perform with different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that when I was in the crowd. I saw like some of our local dance groups, like they were really getting into music. It was a positive vibe, and that's what we want to bring to the platform.
Yeah.
We want more of that. We want less hate and more love. So I'm glad that you can bring that vibe, because a lot of people on your song, Mama, a lot of people felt it. Because they came up to me and they was like, gee, I miss my mom. He made me remember the good parts of my mom. And I was like, well, it's a really great song. And I think he took a lot of time to meditate on what it would be like if your mom wasn't here. But thank God you have your mom. Your mom is in studio today.
Yep.
Your dad's in studio today. I'm sure they're proud of you. Me, myself, I've been a little emotional about the things that's going on in the world with our young people. Like I said in the beginning, you're 18 years old now.
Yes.
And graduating high school soon, right?
Yep.
And then on the other hand, there was a young man that just made the news. He's the same age as you. And I have to get this out and get it off my chest because it's something that bothers me. And I look at the parallel differences of a young man at 18 went out and did something horrible, and a young man sitting right here in front of me that's trying to bring love and peace and positivity to his life and others. Because I know you have friends of all nationalities, and I've met, Zach, and, you got Makomba, you got friends from Africa, you just got a major, broad spectrum of friends from different nationalities. And when cultures clash, which we don't see that in church because we know that everybody is under God's love. You know, it has no color, it has no, you know, no conditions for coming, you know, and having a good heart and treating people well. But what I wanted to know from you, Brenda, what do you think about the events that are going on recently, you know, with teenage youth, mental health?
Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of things going on, especially right now, but I don't really think any of it's kind of a surprise because, especially if you look back in the Bible or Revelations, and talks about a lot of people like how they're going to turn away from God, how they're going to get corrupt by the devil, and how people are going to, families are going to, brothers going to turn on brothers and sisters turn against sisters. So it's really not a surprise to me like how the world's turning.
Yes.
And I've seen a lot of things. Like, I've seen a cousin shoot another cousin by accident.
Wow.
And I've seen a person commit suicide on a Twitch stream.
Wow.
Then I seen the thing that happened in Buffalo with the person shooting at like 10 people. And I feel like these are all youths, but I feel like it's all the corruption, especially how social media and all these things come into play when it comes with the youth.
Right, right. You summed it up great for me. You know, because I just wanted to hear from the hindsight of a youth, you know, that's living in this time today. And on my last show, an elder woman that I had here, we were talking about mental health, and she said to me how it's generational trauma. Doesn't mean just within your own family. Every generation faces some trauma, you know. Me, myself, I was growing up during the civil rights movement. You know, many people, you know, our leaders getting killed and dying, that was traumatizing. And then the generation after me with the World Trade Center and things of that nature. And then moving on right along into your generation and facing more trauma. And it just knowing that God is in the midst of your life lets me know that there is a God that's moving in people's life who want to know him, you know? And there are people out there that are conditioning young people to do awful things. And they say to me, how can you have a form of forgiveness towards people that do hateful or bad things? It's because I know that God forgave me for the things that I've done. And I've probably done things to people and weren't even aware of that I was doing something wrong. But if I had to be corrected, I would like to get a whipping from God first before anybody, you know, outside of that. But it's great to hear your perspective. So now we have another event coming up in June. And that event is not being sponsored by the city of Chelsea. It's being sponsored by the CBC, which is the Black community, Chelsea Black community. We're an organization, because I belong to that organization. We're an organization that's been striving and paving the way for equity in the Black community and striving for our history to be prominent, you know, and heard. Because there's so many stigmas and stereotypes of Black people that people come here with from their countries that we are the lesser of. And I mean, their mindset is being triggered by social media, like you said, and it could start from home. I mean, there's many different outlets that they can get this information from. But our job here in the city of Chelsea is to keep our cultural heritage and events in the forefront. So this is like my second Juneteenth. I didn't know about Juneteenth until last year. And I thought I was like this big historian. I knew Black history, like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, but I was asked last year, did I know about Juneteenth? And I was like, I think it's about slavery, but I had no other, you know, assumptions about what it was. So I gave you an assignment.
Yep, and I completed the assignment.
Because Brandon is probably in the same place I'm in. I had to do a lot of studying on the subject because I was just enlightened by it. And sometimes I try to avoid the subject of slavery because I think we've passed that and we've came a long way. But we could take 2 steps forward and 2 steps backwards sometimes if we forget where we come from. You know? My ancestors weren't of American descent. So as I was growing up, they didn't talk about American things. You know what I mean? They didn't talk about slavery. They didn't talk about Juneteenth. You know what I mean? They didn't talk. I barely heard of the Declaration of, Independence. You know, a lot of things I had to study on my own. Emancipation with Lincoln, you know, and do your research I told you to do. What did you get out of what you learned about Juneteenth?
So, when you gave me that assignment to look up Juneteenth, I never really knew what it was, because everyone out here is like celebrating July 4th, kind of showing American independence, but they weren't really showing like the black people independence. I feel like Juneteenth is a thing that a lot of schools take out of history to kind of hide black culture. And it's really sad to see because a lot of things in school I never knew about. Like, all I learned about was Martin Luther King Jr. and his speech and slavery. Constantly portraying us as enslavers slavers and laborers, but not portraying us as leaders, overcomers, people who battled in war, people who are strong, people who are powerful people, to even come from such a dark place like slavery, to becoming leaders, becoming musicians, becoming managers, CEOs. But they take that part out of history, which I find very sad.
Yes, I find it very sad too. And my mission, my personal mission outside of church, is to keep those conversations going, keep them going. You know, a lot of black Americans don't know Bob Marley came to America. He actually worked in for a car in I think it was Chicago, someplace like that. I don't want to be wrong with my research, but I know he came to America and the civil rights movement was going on at that time. And when he went back to Jamaica, he was not happy about what was going on over here. And maybe in my head, because I love him so much, he got a lot of his inspiration of his songs, like Get Up, Stand Up. You know, one of my favorite songs, because in my youth, when the civil rights movement was going on and we still were facing opposition, like you said, we weren't being taught in school about productive black people, you know. But here I am, born here in America with ancestors that came from the islands and knowing more about what's going on with people from the islands than people what's going on over here.
Yeah.
I remember when I was 13 years old, Brandon, I lived in a small black community, but outside of that, it was mostly Jewish. I lived in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. And we had a family of Rastafarians had moved in. And we weren't used to seeing Rastafarians living in our community. This is when a big fluctuation. We're talking 1973. We're talking way back. I'm walking history, right? So
I want to say all that, but
I'm kind of walking history, you know, because I lived through some things. But this is my 13-year-old awakening, right? Where my enlightenment came of, we had a black king. They weren't teaching that in American schools. They weren't teaching.
Black king where?
In Ethiopia at the time, right? He was still alive, King Haile Selassie. If anybody out there knows about King Haile Selassie, I learned about him when I was 13. But when I spoke to average Americans about him, like average Americans outside of Jamaica or Africa, no one could tell me anything about him. So my mom used to ask me, why do I go over to the Rastafarians' house every day? I used to knock on their door. It was interesting. I wanted to know who they were, where they were from, right? Because they didn't talk about Rastafarianism at my home. It was kind of a taboo. So I used to go in their house and see all these clippings of the king behind a big machine gun, and he was just like this little man. And at 13, I'm saying, why am I in school and I'm not knowing that? I know about Queen Elizabeth. I know about the royal family, but I don't know about this king. So that began my outside journey, because what you have to do, and even now I give you this advice, what you have to do is research on your own. Go outside of school. Not that you're going to go in school and you're going to teach this subject, but if you're going to talk about this subject, right, you have to do your research. So that's what I did. And now today, sometimes I might, if I feel like it, give a lecture on it. Give a lecture on Marcus Garvey. Give a lecture on King Haile Selassie. Give a lecture on Kennedy if I want. Anything that I feel that touched me and I have clear knowledge of, I want to share it. And sharing is caring, right?
Exactly.
So your take on Juneteenth is like not a lot of kids know about it.
Yeah, it's hidden.
And why you think that is?
Because anything good that black people even have is always burned down to the ground or always hidden. Especially, do you know about the Tulsa Massacre?
Yes.
That thing, they burned down millions and millions of land of black excellence, which is really sad. So I feel like, especially that, I didn't know about that until like a week ago. They weren't even teaching that in school or even in the curriculum. They just added that, which I found very sad.
Yes. Yes. So it's up to you now, right? That you're graduating, you're going on to a new journey.
Yep.
And what are you going to do after you graduate?
What I'm going to do after I graduate, I'm definitely thinking about spreading a lot of knowledge, because I feel like really, honestly, and truly, music is my passion.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd rather die knowing I'm following something I love than to be behind a desk typing for the rest of my life or staring at a screen.
Right. Right. And
Yeah.
you can voice what you're feeling
Through my music.
through your music.
Exactly.
You see your guitar, that's your gun.
Exactly.
Okay?
Kill 'em with
Bing,
kindness.
bing, bing, bing. Yeah.
Bing,
That's
bing,
your-
bing.
That's your gun, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a positive thing you're doing. And I want you to know that we love your music, and we're looking forward to hearing a song from you today, right?
Of course.
All right. Brandon is up on his knowledge. And believe me, as I still live, you know, I don't have much time in this place to share my knowledge. But the knowledge that I do share, I want people to be able to take it and feel good about it. Because there's a quote from Maya Angelou. It says, you might not remember what someone did, but you always remember how someone made you feel. And I hold that dear, you know. And each time you make an accomplishment, you make me feel proud to be your friend and to know you. Actually, you're my church brother, so you're like my family, okay? And I want you to always keep that good spirit going. Spread the love. You're a different contrast from most teenagers, you know, that I know. And just keep the good vibes going. So, audience, that me and Brandon have gone into a deep conversation. We're going to try to change the atmosphere at this time. So, we're going to ask Brandon to perform one of his songs for us. And he's brought his guitar along today. So, Brandon,
Actually,
whenever
Celeste,
you're ready.
I'm going to do you one even better. You love Bob Marley, right?
Of course I do.
I got you. And we're talking about black history.
He got
aren't
me
we?
through the whole 70s and 80s, and I'm still rocking with him.
I'm going to get you to the 2022s.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brandon.
Well, I think I'm going to sing just a little teaser of Redemption song.
Okay.
Because I feel like, especially what's going on, us being enslaved through mental slavery and us being hidden from history and black excellence, I feel like it's nothing's like a perfect song to sing than now, especially coming up with Juneteenth.
Yes. I think you're on the right track, Brandon. Give it to us. Let's hear a little bit what you got for us.
Oh, Paris, yes, they rob I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit. Oh, my hands were made strong by the hands almighty. We fought in this generation, triumphantly. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption song. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop at a time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it, but we got to fulfill the book. So won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption song.
Yes. Yes. One of my favorites. That was a great song for today, Brandon. We needed that. Thank you for your healing powers that has been given to you from the Most High. We're looking so forward to Juneteenth. It's coming up next month. I'm not going to give out the date. I'm not going to give out the location because the organization is still regrouping and preparing and getting things ready for you. But we want you to watch out for the information that the CBC, the Chelsea Black Community, is going to send out a PSA about Juneteenth. And we would like all of you to come out and support us. It's going to be a great event. This is going to be the second one Chelsea is celebrating. Like I said, I'm new to it, but I'm for it, okay? Anything that will bring the community together and make the community stronger and make the community more educated, I am for it, okay? So make sure you keep posted. Watch your social medias. Brandon's on YouTube. He's on YouTube. What's your platforms, Brandon? YouTube, this platform. Are you on Instagram?
I'm on everything.
He's on all platforms. You can find him, Brandon Coke.
Brandon Coke, the brand.
That's right, Brandon Coke, the brand. And he really is a brand, okay? He's doing good things. He's encouraging other youth to come and have a relationship with God. His work is not done. I could see him doing so much more things. So keep listening, keep watching out, keep your eye on the prize. Love, not hate. Educate yourself. Look inside yourself to find that better person. And I thank you for watching Inspiring Generations. And I'll get back to you. I'll see you soon.
I gotta keep working hard. Can I play this game soft if I want to live out my dream? I think of you all the time, but I don't think that I can give you all of me. I know it hurts to hear this, but it's just a reality. Forgive me, you will be okay. Girl, nothing else to say about it. I love you the same, but I had to focus on me. Loving you is hard for me. Have all my dreams all gone away. I had to take a trip to get